วิกฤตอาจทำให้คุณล้มแต่ออมสินอยากให้คุณลุกขึ้นได้อีกครั้งด้วยสินเชื่อสร้างงานสร้างอาชีพจากธนาคารออมสินวงเงินกู้ 10,000 ถึง 300,000 บาท6 เดือนแรกไม่ต้องชำระเงินงวดพร้อมฝึกอบรมทักษะเพื่อก้าวเข้าสู่อาชีพใหม่ๆสมัครวันนี้ถึง 30 กันยายน 2565ด่วนมีวงเงินจำกัดธนาคารออมสินธนาคารเพื่อสังคม
บีคอนโดชีวิตทันสมัยมีสไตล์ในแบบของคุณบีแฮปปี้คือความสุขที่อยู่รอบตัวคุณบีสมาร์ทเป็นสไตล์ในแบบคุณบีเฮลตี้อยู่ท่ามกลางความสดชื่นได้ทุกวันราคาเริ่มต้น 1,140,000 บาทสนใจดูรายละเอียดได้ที่ www.abasestate.co.th
หลายคนเข้าใจว่าขับรถที่ความเร็วไม่สูงจะช่วยให้ประหยัดน้ำมันได้แต่ความจริงแล้วการรักษาความเร็วที่คงที่และสม่ำเสมอเป็นปัจจัยหลักที่จะช่วยให้รถเราประหยัดน้ำมันได้รถแต่ละคันประหยัดน้ำมันไม่เท่ากันดังนั้นขับช้าหรือขับเร็วก็กินน้ำมันเหมือนกันเพียงเท่านี้เพื่อนๆก็จะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในการใช้พลังงานอย่างคุ้มค่าและประหยัด
ความสดชื่นที่ใช่อาจมองไม่เห็นด้วยตาแต่เรารับรู้ได้รอยจังหูก็เหมือนรอยยิ้มที่มาพร้อมคุณค่าของความจริงใจทำให้ผมสดชื่นน้ำดื่มสิงผลิตด้วยเทคโนโลยี Smart Micro Filter จึงสะอาดมั่นใจแม้บางอย่างมองไม่เห็นด้วยตาแต่นี่แหละคือความสดชื่นที่ใช่น้ำดื่มสะอาดน้ำดื่มสิง
ความสมบูรณ์แบบคือพลังที่พร้อมก้าวข้ามทุกขีดจำกัดคือการตัดสินใจที่ไม่มีข้อผิดพลาดคือตัวตนที่ทุกคนให้การยอมรับคำริ่งใหม่ความสมบูรณ์แบบที่เป็นคุณ
คุยทุจอแฟกทอล์กจันทร์ที่ 20 มิถุนายนนี้ 14 นาฬิกาพบกับ CEO Lemonaide คุณวศวรรษ วสุธาสวัสดิ์ผู้บุกเบิกนำเทคโนโลยีและแพลตฟอร์มที่ทันสมัยที่เชื่อมโยงผู้ซื้อและผู้ขายสินค้าแบรนด์มือสองระดับพรีเมียมให้เกิดความมั่นใจเชื่อมั่นพร้อมบริการหลังการขายระดับพรีเมียมเช่นกันติดตามให้ได้ครับจันทร์ที่ 20 มิถุนายนนี้ 14 นาฬิกาและพบกันครับร่วมสนับสนุนโดยสินเชื่อสร้างงานสร้างอาชีพจากธนาคารออมสิน
สวัสดีครับผู้ชมครับนี่คือคุยที่จอแฟกทอล์กก่อนที่จะไปพูดคุยกับคุณวศวรรษ วสุธาสวัสดิ์ประธานเจ้าที่บริหาร Lemonaide นั้น Smart Sure ต้องบอกว่าขอพูดสักนิดเรื่องของสถานการณ์น้ำมันผมจริงเราเชื่อว่าตอนนี้เราน่าจะรัฐบาลน่าจะเปิดโต๊ะเจรจากับประธานาธิบดีนำเข้าน้ำมันจากรัสเซียได้แล้วนะครับโดยเฉพาะสภาวะแบบนี้แล้วเพื่อผูกมันที่แน่นแฟ้นกับรัสเซียและจีนต้องถือว่าความสัมพันธ์ที่ดีของรัสเซียที่มีกับประเทศไทยตั้งแต่สมัยรัชกาลที่ 5นั้นผมว่ายังคงแล้วก็เขาทั้งรักทั้งชอบประเทศไทยนะครับการนำเข้าน้ำมันจากรัสเซียไม่ใช่เป็นการแสดงออกสนับสนุนให้เกิดสงครามที่ยูเครนไม่ใช่เป็นการยั่วยุแต่ข้อเท็จจริงมีอยู่ว่าสหรัฐนั้นพยายามที่จะดื้อดันผลักดันยูเครนเข้าเป็นสมาชิกเนโตนั่นเองนี่คือหัวใจของปัญหาถ้าเรื่องนี้ถอนตัวทุกอย่างผมว่าจบลงแน่นอนแล้วก็ทั่วโลกไม่ต้องมาประสบชะตากรรมเศรษฐกิจอย่างเช่นทุกวันนี้เราโดนโควิด -19 มาเกือบ3 ปีแล้วมาซ้ำตัวด้วยสถานการณ์สงครามยูเครนนั้นเป็นเรื่องหนักหนาสาหัสกับพิษเศรษฐกิจที่เกิดขึ้นทั่วโลกทุกวันนี้และแน่นอนพลังงานคือต้นทุนที่สำคัญที่สุดในการที่จะหล่อเลี้ยงขับเคลื่อนเศรษฐกิจของทั้งโลกใบนี้นะครับเพราะฉะนั้นถ้าเราเจรจาเอาผลประโยชน์ของชาติเป็นตัวตั้ง แม้แต่หมากในการเดินเกมการทูตการต่างประเทศของไทยนั้นเป็นเรื่องที่สำคัญที่จะต้องกระชับมิตรทั้งซีกโลกตะวันตกและซีกโลกตะวันออกได้อย่างสมบูรณ์เพราะฉะนั้นผมถือว่าประเทศไทยเป็นประเทศที่มีภูมิรัฐศาสตร์ที่งดงามที่ทั่วโลกนั้นจับตามองเรายังมีหลายเรื่องที่ยังเป็นเสน่ห์เป็นความน่าสนใจของโลกใบนี้ของเพื่อนโลกใบนี้เพราะฉะนั้นถ้าเราเอาประโยชน์ของชาติเป็นตัวตั้งนั้นสงครามยูเครนก็ไม่เกี่ยวแต่ผลประโยชน์ของชาติและประชาชนคนไทยทั้งชาติเป็นเรื่องที่สำคัญกว่านะครับผมเชื่อว่าหลายๆประเทศตอนนี้ก็พยายามที่จะมองหาเวทีสำคัญในการที่จะแก้ปัญหาเศรษฐกิจโดยเฉพาะของพลังงานและอย่าลืมว่าถ้ารัสเซียรวมขนาดเศรษฐกิจของโลกรวมจีนรวมรัสเซียรวมอินเดียนั้นใหญ่กว่าสหรัฐแล้วนะครับ19 ล้านล้านของจีนบวกกับรัสเซีย 1.5 ล้านล้านอินเดียประมาณ 1.2-1.5 ล้านล้านแซงสหรัฐได้สำเร็จแล้วตอนนี้เขารวมตัวกันแล้วเพราะฉะนั้นเรื่องพวกนี้ถ้าเรามองอย่าไปมองที่ความเดียวแต่ต้องมองด้วยผลประโยชน์ของชาติเป็นตัวตั้งเราเห็นมามากมายตัวอย่างที่เห็นมามากมายสหรัฐนั้นเข้าไปในหลายประเทศนั้นมองที่ผลประโยชน์พอหมดประโยชน์ก็โดนเทอย่างอัฟกานิสถานล่าสุดนี่ผมขอพูดด้วยจากใจที่เกิดขึ้นนะไม่ใช่เป็นการปรุงแต่งแต่เป็นเรื่องจริงที่เกิดขึ้นและอยากให้มองผลประโยชน์ของชาติเป็นตัวตั้งการเจรจานำเข้าน้ำมันรัสเซียไม่ใช่เป็นการยั่วยุไม่ใช่เป็นการที่แสดงเห็นว่าเราเห็นด้วยกับสงครามยูเครนคือเราเห็นด้วยไม่เห็นด้วยไม่เกี่ยวปัญหาหัวใจสำคัญที่ผมพูดแล้วว่าเกิดจากการที่ยูเครนจะเข้าร่วมเป็นสมาชิกเนโตซึ่งรัสเซียยอมไม่ได้ประเทศมีกันชนร่วมกันเพราะฉะนั้นถ้าปืนประจ่อที่รั้วบ้านของรัสเซียความมั่นคงเขาก็ยอมไม่ได้รับไม่ได้แล้วก็ยูเครนเราก็เห็นแล้วผลลัพธ์ที่เกิดขึ้นประชาชนไร้ที่อยู่อาศัยกว่า 4-5 แสนคนต้องอพยพไปหาที่อยู่อาศัยใหม่หนีภัยสงครามผมว่าเรื่องพวกนี้เป็นเรื่องที่เราต้องตระหนักนะครับฉะนั้นอันนี้ก็อยากจะบอกว่าหยุดเกรงใจเลิกเกรงใจสหรัฐสักทีนะครับเอาผลประโยชน์ของชาติเป็นตัวตั้งแล้วเดินหน้าเชื่อว่าจะแก้วิกฤตพลังงานของประเทศได้อย่างมีนัยยะทีเดียวนะครับหลายๆประเทศในยุโรปไม่ว่าจะเป็นเยอรมันหรือฝรั่งเศสก็พยายามที่จะหาตัวเลือกใหม่ๆหาทางออกใหม่ๆเรื่องของพลังงานเรียกว่าจะพึ่งพาสหรัฐอย่างเดียวคงไม่ได้นะครับเอาละครับวันนี้ก็ขอพูดเรื่องผลประโยชน์ของชาติเป็นตัวตั้งเพราะว่าถ้าไม่พูดก็รู้สึกว่าจะอึดอัดหน่อยก็ขอแสดงความคิดเห็นและอยากให้เดินหน้านำร่องจริงๆเพราะการทูตการต่างประเทศของไทยสามารถที่จะสร้างกระชับมิตรทั้งสองประเทศในซีกตะวันตกและตะวันออกได้อย่างดีนะครับครับช่วงนี้ไปพบกับคุณวัศวัฒน์วัฒธาสวัสดิ์ประธานเจ้าที่บริหาร Lemonaide นะครับหรือ Smart Sure อย่างที่เราต้องขอบคุณคุณดับซี่ครับแต่ต้องเรียนคุณผู้ชมนิดนึงที่ขอบคุณครับคุณดับซี่ที่มาให้ความรู้พวกเราถือเป็นแอปพลิเคชันใหม่เป็นแพลตฟอร์มใหม่ๆที่กำลังมีประสิทธิภาพนะครับวันนี้ต้องขอถ่ายทอดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษเพราะว่าคุณออฟจะต้องใช้เพจตัวนี้
เพื่อมีลูกค้าที่อยู่ต่างประเทศมาฟังถูกต้องใช่ไหมครับผม
ซึ่งตอนนี้มี branches out ไปอยู่แล้วที่อินโดนีเซีย
ถูกต้องครับขอบคุณมากเลยครับผมที่ให้โอกาสผมมาสื่อเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะครับผมขอบคุณมากครับ
My great pleasure ต้องบอกเลยนะ Okay first of all let me begin with how do you design lemonades and to cope with the lemon's problems and I like you at this point in time to elaborate on lemon's problems so by designing Lemonade's application to cope with such lemon's problem please
sure well thank you so much for your time so as you rightly stated so Lemonaide was created to solve the problem that many economists call the lemons problem. So the lemons problem is an economics phenomena that basically states that if you are in the used market, whether it be used car, used watches, used handbags, used telephone, anything that is used, and you are trying to sell the used product. The person buying the used product from you does not trust you. So because they don't know how the product is, they will assume that the product that they are buying is a bad quality product, which means that the price that they're offering to you will not be the price that you think you should get. And so this becomes a great dilemma. For example, I might have been driving this beautiful, BMW car for 5 years. I know the car very well. I know the car is a good car. I drive and maintain it very well on a quarterly basis. So I myself as a seller know that this used car is good. But when after 5 years, I want to buy a new car, so I might be wanting to sell this old BMW. So I would try to find a seller, a buyer. So the buyer would then make me an offer, but the buyer does not know the car as well as I do. So I know the car is good. I know the car has been well maintained. I know the quality is great, but the buyer doesn't know that. So what the buyer would do is that he will assume the worst case. He will assume that I am selling him a bad car. Because he assumes that I'm selling him a bad car, he will make me a very low offer. And this dilemma is something that many economists cannot solve. And this is the reason why we created Lemonaide, because we wanted to bring transparency to the used ecosystem and allow people to buy used products with peace of mind and offer a good price, right? Because ultimately, if the price is good, if the car is a good car, they should make good price offers. And Lemonaide brings in many software solutions to give the buyer the transparency they need to make that better offer. So then the buyer will also get a good car, right? I mean, let me tell you this: not everyone wants to buy a car at a low price. If they can pay slightly higher and they know that the car is good quality, then they don't have to waste time taking the car to the repair center. They don't have to waste time for the repair period. They can just drive the car, go to work, and get moving with their lives. So I think the solution that we have created really allows used car seller to sell at a good price, used car buyer to buy at the fair price.
Mm-hmm. In other words, to try to merge between these two, between the buyer and the sellers, to reach at a certain point with this satisfaction guarantee, some sort of that. Either the engine itself and the car maintenance and so forth. Is that right?
Yes. So actually, we have many protocols in place to ensure that we bring transparency. So one of our first protocol is what we call Authentication Protocol, which is essentially the inspection part of our software. So we give the seller the software or the training or the service to inspect the vehicles. So if the vehicles are as good as they say it is, used car buyer can then have peace of mind that the quality of the car is good. Similarly, this technology is not just for the used car industry, it's all for the used industry as a whole. For example, you can use this software technology to inspect used watches. You can use this technology to inspect used handbags. So this really allows buyers to offer a fair price to the used car seller, to any pre-owned seller for that matter.
Well, I had a question that how does this Lemonaide application, how efficient to solve the problems of uncertainties between buyers and sellers and so forth?
Well, to be honest, when you speak about the used market, it's almost the opposite, right? When you speak used, people think inefficiency, and so for us, we are really trying to make the market more efficient. But let me first define efficiency. A market is efficient when everyone in the stakeholders have two main things. They have full transparency and they have liquidity.
Okay.
So liquidity basically means that at this point in time, there is already someone wanting to buy my used product at any point in time, right? So that's liquidity. The second thing is transparency. So I believe that our solution right now is solving the first thing, which is transparency. When you see the lemon logo on any used product, you can know the car is a good quality car. You can know the car has a good after sales. You can know that the car has a good CRM system for the provider to use. So that essentially helps bring efficiency a little bit. But solving the second part of efficiency is essentially reducing friction, and this means providing liquidity. So for us right now, we are only supporting used car retailers and used retailers on the transparency side of the business. In terms of liquidity, we feel that we are not the best person to support them, because right now, for example, in Thailand, there are websites such as Kaidi, 12 Car, Talat Lot. So all of these websites are the websites that will bridge buyers and sellers together. So we feel that it's not our job to provide liquidity anymore, because there are these great companies that are already giving liquidity to the market. For us, we feel that for the market to be perfectly efficient, it's lacking the things that we're developing right now, which is our transparency tools. So we believe that currently the market has 12 Car, Kaidi, Talat Lot. This gives perfect liquidity. Add that with our technology, which is the Lemonaide technology, then you have efficiency. So I fundamentally believe that efficiency can be reached if we use solutions of these marketplace as well as the solution of our Lemonaide's software.
So basically, you designed this Lemonaide application to deal with the transparencies and liquidities, which is easy to sell for cash. Liquidity is some sort
yes.
of right.
So
okay.
We aim to solve it to be more transparent, but it happens to make it more liquid as well. But don't get me wrong, without a marketplace, I can be the best car. I can have the best car in the world, but no marketplace means no one will see it. All right. So I fundamentally believe that we are still dependent on these large marketplaces to help promote these products to the consumer. So I see myself, working in the future hand in hand with all of these marketplaces to make the market more efficient.
Well, great. That's the key point. Make it more efficient and make it more satisfiable for between the buyer and the sellers. And the whole things are clients that we are geared towards serving there for better service and better guarantee for the products they buy. Between buyer and sellers, in other words. Well, let me answer that. I heard that the Lemonaide's application, you have made a position to rely on the tough standard, which is world recognized by the qualities of assurance of the product itself and so forth. How do you get involved to get into the access to tough standards in order to some sort of the guarantees between buyer and seller that you'll get the products with transparencies and good liquidities itself, please?
To be honest, when you speak about trust, you really need to that there are not many companies out there that you can really think of. And I just happened to come across TUF when I was in Germany. So I was studying automotive management in Germany. So that was where I studied a lot of the dynamics of the automotive market. So that was where I first established connection with TUV. And we approached them and said, hey, listen, you are very strong in the European market. And I know that you are also strong in the ASEAN market, but maybe not in the automotive industry, but maybe not in the used car automotive industry. I can't say they're not strong in the automotive industry either, because they are a very strong brand. So we approached them and said, hey, listen, in the ASEAN region, the used car market still lacks credibility. And I think, if you jump and work with us here, I think we can create something that can instill trust for the used car buyers and in the used car and in any products as well. So essentially, I pitched in this idea, and then after we signed a contract together, we created an inspection standard together, so that it's suitable for the ASEAN market. Because as in Europe, they tend to have more European cars than in Thailand. In Thailand, predominantly 95% are Japanese cars. So we did need to adapt the curriculum, the standards a little bit to conform with the ASEAN market types.
In other words, they could ensure the Lemonaides, together with tough standards, can ensure the products and the quality assurance itself, and give very confidence to clients
to the buyers.
Well, actually, for another expensive, I would say expensively used car, not just used car, but most likely it's could determine to the expensively used car in particular, because otherwise they will have very much concerns for the expensive car by nature. Do you think of that?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Yes,
sorry.
I think most likely they would really gear towards the expensively used car, not just used car, because they have to pay more. But most target of expensive used car, is because they don't want to pay beyond what the price they can afford. That's why they buy expensive used car rather than buy brand new expensive car. Is that right?
Yes. Well, I think 2 points there. Number one is that I think our service and products can be used in all types of products. It can be cheap cars.
Mr. Wasawat, that's why it makes the used car automobile market in Thailand
more attractive. Exactly, more attractive.
Yes. All right.
Yes, because people now can buy good quality cars, but without having to pay the high price of a new car. Correct.
At lower cost. All right.
At lower cost, exactly.
For instance, like what's the last one that your daddy has operated for over 40 years, something like that. Okay.
Yes. So actually, if I can bring the analogy of my father's old business. So my father, he's in importing business as well. He also runs a used car division as well.
Right.
So at that time, I think many people trusted his brand because it was him selling the product himself, and he was in charge of the entire company. That being said, as the economy, as people move to the digital age, and as he gets older, he can't constantly deliver the same quality service that he used to, 30 to 40 years ago. Which is why for us, Lemonaide is not about mentoring or creating or developing a person. Lemonaide is about creating and mentoring a system that so that it can be scalable throughout the ages. Because we know I know actually from my personal experience that if you focus your attention on developing just a person, the person will deliver a great job until they run out of fuel. For example, they might be tired, they might be retired, or they may not be up to date on new technologies and services. What Lemonaide does, Lemonaide is essentially creating a system that is going to be foolproof for the future, because we have our business development team is constantly studying the market. What is the new things that is going to come? What are the things that the customers may need in the future? So right now we have a research and development team studying Web3, creating our own sort of like a metaverse where people can meet and trade used products. So this is something that's not going to be launched now, but it is something that we are studying because we know that customers' patterns are changing. For example, 5 to 10 years ago, people may be using Facebook a lot, but now people are migrating to Instagram, people are migrating to YouTube, people are migrating to TikTok. So for us, as an ecosystem builder, we are always constantly studying the market and anticipating where the market will go in the future. And I believe because we are always anticipating this, we're always ready to support SMEs in the used market. So therefore, SMEs can also rely on the Lemonaide product as well, that we will always be there to support you. Similarly, used car buyer or any buyers of used product can also trust the Lemonaide logo because they know that we are always continuously ready to improve our service and products. So I really think this is, the core of our business, because right now we may be good at this product, but we always know that, the world now is moving so fast that even I can't anticipate where it's going to go. So we need to hire young, fresh talent who are always seeking new ways of innovating this industry. So I really think this is, our niche for the used market.
Well, how much further did you think the Lemonaide's technologies or application or platform, whatever, can do better as compared with the conventional selling methods in the old times?
I think there are many. I think the trends of the world are changing. I know a lot of people are talking about cryptocurrency and going to Web3. Mark Zuckerberg, is investing a lot, billions of dollars, in creating his metaverse. So I fundamentally believe that, in the future, people will most likely be transacting a lot of, products via the metaverse. So I think right now we are looking, how we can potentially be an ecosystem supporter for, SMEs going to, the metaverse. For example, if I am in the metaverse right now, how do I know that the dealer that is selling in that metaverse are good quality dealers? And also, if I am a dealer and I want my salesperson to be at the online dealership, how do I give real-time response? So we know that, used car dealers and, most SMEs don't have the technologies or the tools to do this. So what we have to do is anticipate. Okay, for example, we might create a service where we develop an infrastructure for them to have their showroom online. Also, we may also have to develop a linkage where their sales team will have to be on the desk 24 hours a day, swapping in shifts, make sure that they can serve the customer online. Because my contention is that I believe that in the future, if metaverse really does pick up and things do move online, when they go to the showroom, they don't want to speak to a robot. They either want to speak to a really clever artificial intelligence, or they want to speak to real human beings. I don't think artificial intelligence is quite get there for them to deliver a great and responsive sales experience. So I think in the meantime, while we wait for artificial intelligence to be really seamless, we will need to bridge that salesperson so that they can stand in the showroom in the metaverse. So I might need to equip them with, the glasses so that they can be in that showroom online. So when a customer with their avatar walks in, they can say, "Hi, what car are you looking for?" So they could say, "I'm looking for this car," and then they could point out to that car. They could say, "If you click on this button, you can see all the inspection report." So obviously, the inspection report and the software will be done by our authentication protocol. So I think all of this is we say that it's so far in the future, but I can assure you the world is moving so fast that this could be something in the next year or two. So we have to prepare the back end system so that these dealers can be ready to migrate their offline showroom, because right now they have the offline showroom, right, and then they have their website. But I think the website will be redundant in the future if people move to the metaverse. So I will need to create the technology to prepare them for that as well.
Well, how you gather all the authenticated informations for each individual cars, and to make sure that once people want to buy this certain car, they can get into this application and search for the whole information, whether good or bad, that sort of thing. So there will be no more misleading information in other words, to induce buyer to buy such car. Is that right? There
Yes,
will be
exactly.
full information. All right.
Yeah, so how we do this is quite simple. We develop a software, but for anyone to use the software, they must come and train with us first on how to inspect properly, how to use the software. But once they inspect themselves, all the data is fed into our system. And we have a team of quality control manager who then proceeds to evaluate whether the inspections are done in accordance to our standards or not.
Right.
More importantly, we use artificial intelligence to also validate whether these inspections are being done in accordance to our standards or not. So we hope, as I mentioned before, efficiency always comes with liquidity. We hope that in the future, I won't have to, this process will be faster because AI will be able to approve the inspection faster than human beings, right? Right now, I have to agree, 80% of the reports are still being manually authenticated by our team. But we hope that in the future, with the data that we intake, the artificial intelligence machine that we created will be able to validate these inspection reports faster so that people can have a faster speed to market in selling their vehicles.
So in that sense, you can encourage buyer to buy automobiles or other expensive items, etc., with the logos of Lemonaide software to guarantee themselves that they can be sure of good quality, good insurance on such
Exactly.
individual items. Is that right?
Actually, speaking about trust, I know we spoke a lot, so far about our authentication protocol.
That's a
but
keyword to this kind of business, right? This is what we all need: trust.
Yes, trust
with the good qualities and good liquidity. Okay.
Exactly. And another way that we bring trust to the ecosystem is actually also our partnership with insurance companies. So right now we partner with many insurance companies, for example, Allianz, Midtair, and Muang Thai. So these are insurance companies who also join our ecosystem to provide after sales warranty on the products as well. So for example, if you buy a used car and you want to make sure that the car is good, you can also buy the warranty from these big companies. And all of these companies are insurance companies, which means they are backed by the OIC. So it means that they can't fail. Even if they do fail, the OIC will jump in to support the reinsurance of the warranty. So in this way, customers can get the 150 years experience of tough. They can also get the peace of mind from working with an insurance company that are under the purview of the OIC. So I really think it's a win-win scenario where we bring technology. We don't just bring technology, right? We bring partners, strong partners who can make the ecosystem stronger.
Great. Well, what kind of expenses, if they prefer to go with the Lemonaide software? What kind of expenses that clients has to be involved?
Well, I mean, usually we offer these solutions to the retailers, so used car sellers, handbag sellers, etc., and etc. But usually the
with the clients itself. Nothing has to do with the buyer itself.
So the buyers only have to look for the lemon logo. So if you see the lemon logo, then you know that the retailers that you're buying it from are already paid a significant amount of money to ensure that their cars are good qualities, that their products are good quality as well. So for me, speaking to end consumer, you just have to look out for the Lemonaide logo. If you see it, you can close your eyes and buy the product right away.
Lemonaide logo together with TUV, right? Tough.
Yes.
These two equitably guarantees the quality and the assurance of the car itself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And once again, that buyer has no cost attached to Lemonaide. The seller will.
The seller will. Yeah.
And how long does it last for this the warranty period for the,
So,
the buyer
so this yeah, so this really depends on the seller. Some seller choose to give peace of mind for 1 year. That's the norm. But sometimes they choose to give for 2 to 3 years. So it really depends on the seller. But if you're a buyer who were given a 1 year warranty,
this
you
point
could
out depends on how the buyers deal individually, right? Deals individually.
I mean, it depends on the promotion of the seller. I mean, sorry if I misspoke. So
Okay.
basically, if the retailers give the buyer a 1 year, after sales, then it's 1 year. If the buyer gives 2 years, then it's 2 years.
And after
So
the warranty is expires, and how much money is involved to the buyers themselves?
so this really depends on the car as well, because in the automotive business, there are cars ranging from 100,000 baht to 10 million baht. So the cost of repairs will be very different. So if the buyer wants to have coverage on the second year and the third year, they can contact the seller themselves. Because for us, we work in a trust ecosystem where we don't cross sell any product to the end consumer. The end consumer, if they wish to buy warranty on the second year and the third year and the fourth year, they can contact the retailers themselves, and the retailers will work with us to give you the most competitive pricing.
Okay, good. Well, least but not last, what scope of guarantees from the Lemonaide software they can get application once they see the logo?
Yeah.
See,
So
the scope of warranties. You talk
Yes.
about the maintenance and services and maintenance as well. Please
Yeah.
give more details, please.
Yeah, sure. So the warranty product, they have many. So the companies that we work with, they have many products. That's actually the reason why we work with many companies. So some insurance companies chooses to repair your vehicles at workshops. So if you choose this policy, then the premium will be lower because the repair is cheaper. But if you choose for the repairs to be done in showrooms, then the premiums for this will be higher. And in each of the policy, you can choose to cover maybe 20% or 80% of the vehicles. So we have I think we have over 20 products that we can offer to the used car buyer, after the second and after the third year. And I think all we need is basically your requirements. So for example, if you say you have a budget of this much, we have the right product for you. Our goal is never to profit from warranty. Our goal is to connect you and give you product diversification. Because in my opinion, I believe that everyone needs a choice. And I believe in Thailand there are 70 million people, and right now we are also in Indonesia, so that's another 120 million people, and in Singapore as well.
About Indonesia and Singapore, with their branches
Yes.
out. But I understood now. The warranties is much depend on each individual needs. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly.
And what about the budget ranges from what certain in figure to what figure?
So I think our price, the prices of our partners starts from
We talk
around
about
about
after warranties from the buyer, from the seller is expired.
Yeah. So the price starts from around about 4,000 to 50,000. For example, an expensive Mercedes, you have to pay around about 50,000 for the warranty. But for a cheap, Japanese cars, it could be around about 4,000 baht. So if you pay 4,000 baht, if anything goes wrong with the vehicles, for example, an engine is broken or a gear is broken, you can get that repaired for free. So I think it's a really good way for you to diversify that risk, because if the engine does break down, it costs around about, I think, 50,000 to 100,000 baht to repair that engine. So rather you pay that, you just pay 4,000. So let's say 4,000, right? So if you divide it into monthly payment, that's around about 400 or 300 something per month, which is a cheap price for you to pay, rather than having to pay 100,000 baht to repair the engine.
just like another insurance.
Yes, exactly. So, but as I mentioned, as you mentioned, the retailers will be responsible for this in the first year or the second year, depending on the promotion. But after that,
they can offer to
yes, exactly. Yes.
But after that, it relies on the owner itself whether they will buy reinsurance on through the Lemonaide software. Get their car more warranties on extending terms, right?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, you're correct. You are correct.
Okay, please go on.
Sorry. I think the benefit of extending as well is that our system will update on that, which means that when you choose to sell a car, we will know the details of how well you maintain the vehicle, on anything that goes wrong with the vehicle. So as we mentioned, the more details we have about the car, the more trust it brings. So for example, after 5 years, when you sell that car, we can print out a report, an extensive report to say, okay, the first year warranty, no claim. Second year warranty, claim a little bit. Third year warranty, no claim. Fourth year warranty, maintain this and do and all of this maintenance, report. So once we have all of this maintenance report, the buyer who will buy the car from that person in 5 years' time will have more transparency. So if they have more transparency, they can also make a better price offer as well. So we would encourage our buyer to buy after sales packages from our retailers, even after the warranty has finished. But they don't have to buy the warranty. They can just buy, the personal assistance maintenance package, because in this way we can act as your personal assistants and help you find the cheapest and the best quality workshops to repair your vehicles. So that could also be another option for used car buyers as well.
Well, you've been running this kind of business for nearly 5 years.
Yes.
How was the market response to the
product, right?
To the product,
yes. Well, to be honest, the market response has been very overwhelming because, to be honest, we are the only one right now in this market who is offering this end-to-end solution. So I think because of our first mover advantage, it has really allowed us to innovate this industry and to provide trust to used car buyers and used car sellers. We hope that in the future we can continue to become to continue to reinforce our gold standard as the gold standard of trust in the used car market, and we hope to do so in other markets apart from Thailand as well.
Great, and I hope you can do it anyway.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You can make it because of such advantages. The software application you made offer to
thank you
the seller and the buyers themselves. I think to give more confidence and assurance on the mainly concentrated on quality itself, which is very, very much important, both physically the body of the car itself and the engine itself. Well, let me ask you about what makes you decide to move on, branching out to Indonesia and Singapore, and perhaps in the later stage, you probably have gone to the whole ASEAN communities. Yeah. Could it be possible? Is that what you are aiming for?
Exactly. This is what we're aiming for. So I think for us right now, it's about growth. And the Indonesian market is a natural choice because it has such a large population and the GDP per capita is still very low. So there is a lot of room for growth in the Indonesian market. So that's number one. The Singaporean market is different. We decided that we want to go to the Singaporean market because from my studies, I found that, there are two countries in the ASEAN market that are very efficient.
Put it this way,
the Thai market.
totally different markets.
Total different strategy. Different strategy. So
right.
in Indonesian market is still quite inefficient.
All right.
So the Thai market is relatively efficient. Singaporean market is only slightly more efficient than the Thai market.
Okay.
But with us, right, we are a software company. So what we need to do is anticipate how the market will change with different dynamics. I know now in Indonesia, 5 years' time, it will be like it is in Thailand today. So we have a product ready for the Indonesian market. I, however, don't know where Thailand will be in 2 to 3 years' time. So what I will have to do is go to the Singaporean market to see how does an efficient market like Singapore handle the used car market. So once I'm able to learn and service the customers in the Singaporean market, I can be pretty secure that whatever market dynamics I face in the future, expanding to other countries in the ASEAN region, I am well equipped in terms of technology. I am well equipped in terms of market understanding on how to solve the problems of the dealers in that country. So that's essentially why we chose the Singaporean market as well as the Indonesian market.
When we say totally different strategy, you are talking about between you're making a benchmark between Indonesia and Singapore. Is that based on per capita income? And how do you deal with these changing markets and totally different markets?
I would say that I'm not basing it on GDP per capita. I think I'm basing it on market efficiency. For example, in Singapore, the stakeholders in the used car market, for example, are more efficient. You can transact, you can make transfer of ownership online. In Thailand, the transfer of ownership you still have to be done by the government authority offline, right? So all of these, the stakeholders that are supporting the Singaporean market are much more efficient. So because they are much more efficient, it needs a different. It means that the used car retailers are more efficient. For example, when I enter the Singaporean market right now, we are entering with our SaaS solution. When we are entering the Indonesian market, we are entering with our after-sale service and software. So there are different entrance strategy, but ultimately we want them to use our entire ecosystem. But it's just because the market in Singapore is more efficient, we believe that they may find our SaaS software more useful as a beginning stage of entering the market.
Well, that's quite understood between these two different countries and different strategies that you have to.
Sorry, I think the internet broke up a little bit. Then sorry, can you repeat?
I think it's quite clear. It's quite clear that you said the measures to deal with the transaction with the technology between these two is quite different between Indonesia and Singapore. Based on a certain factors like the readiness and the I think it still has to do with my own opinion. It still has to do with per capita income.
No, of course. That is definitely also a major factor as well. No, I don't disagree with that.
But the Indonesian, they rely much on after-sale service, which is quite efficient to them, because they normally used car in Indonesia perhaps it's a bit older than used car selling in Singapore.
Yes.
Am I right? But for that matter,
that is correct. That is correct. Yes.
That's why they very much rely on after-sale service and good terminology and so forth.
Yeah.
You have applied to these two countries on different levels, on different technology.
Yes.
But still, Lemonaide's software could be totally applied and applicable to these two countries on a certain level.
Exactly.
Certain level and a different level as well.
Yes.
Okay. So how the markets how does the market respond in either in Indonesia and in Singapore as compared to Thailand?
I think in terms of market adoption of our technology, I think it's been pretty good. So for us, because as I mentioned, there are no other services that are offering what we're offering. But I think market education is also very important as well, because we need to also convince retailers who are often very traditional to adopt a new way of delivering trust. Because for many of them, they are like my father who used to run this business. They use themselves as the brand ambassador of trust, which is great. But I tell them. I tell them our anecdotal story that what about when you go traveling? What about when you want to retire? What about when you have children and you don't have time to look after your business? Do you still think that you will be able to give 100% trust to the consumer buying your vehicles? And the answer is no. The answer is no. So I believe that my experience, my personal experience, and my experience in the Thai market in onboarding retailers can really is a really convincing strategy for me when I train my sales team to go and tell these retailers that we are here to really support your growth. And if you think of us as a cost, I really want you to change your mind, because ultimately we're not here to trying to take the small margin that because our costs actually to the used car retailers are very cheap. I can't disclose it because it's to the used car retailers, but the high margin that they make per car definitely overcompensates from this cost that I incur to them. So I really want I think if we push this ideology of trust, of growth, of sustainable growth, I think we won't have issue on onboarding retailers now or in the future.
Well, I think that's the whole point you have mentioned, the through systems and the confidence of the Lemonaides, which you have adopted to a certain platform and technology to bring the people between buy and sell to make sure that they get the good products and good quality. And no fake materials or no bad things on
Yes.
automobile.
Exactly.
Let me ask you that, by the way. I know it's very hard to get access to tough standards, to bring them to approve Lemonaide's application, Lemonade software is reaching out to tough standards. And what kind of criteria you must confirm to them? What criteria you have to meet the requirements of tough to get on terms of a tough standard?
Yeah, for sure. You are absolutely correct. I think it took me and my team over a year, I think, before we could set up any meeting with them, because not easy at all. But I think after convincing them, on our vision and on our business model, they finally came on board. And the inspection criteria that they set is top of the art, obviously, because that's how they do business. So right now, in terms of the inspection points for vehicles, we inspect around about 215 inspection points, and all of these points must be validated, and we created an inspection procedures that must be followed by all inspectors before this report can be issued. So for example, starting in front of the engine bay, opening the engine bay, looking at that pillar, and then walking around to the left door, opening the left door, taking out the rubber, seeing whether the arc is still there. So all of these
just like the X-ray machine.
Just like an X-ray machine, exactly.
Okay, great. So people can be sure that they good the qualities and fake and not a fake products.
Yes, exactly.
In Thai we say yom mao whatever.
Yes. Yom now, exactly.
No more cheating products in that sense.
No more. So
Yeah,
that's I mean, ultimately that is our goal, right? So if people can trust in the Lemonade logo, they can transact online freely, and everyone can be more efficient. So that's the goal, efficiency.
Okay. And probably last but not least, how much hope for the future on the Lemonade software, which you have introduced to the market for over 5 years now, I think. Please.
So I think we're only just getting started, Dr. Tan,
Okay, great.
because
Okay.
we have many
It's a
ambitious
good
plans.
mentality, yeah.
Pardon? Yes.
Good
Yeah. Well,
mentality.
it's a good
Because there are
mentality for me, but my team are dying. But yeah, so I think we're just getting started. So I think we have a lot more technologies that we need to develop to ensure a sustainable, innovating experience for all of our stakeholders. Because don't forget, creating a brand is easy, Doctor, because I can promote the brand, see the vehicle, Lemonade is good, right? And I can create existing technology to ensure that trust can be garnered. But don't be fooled to think that Thai people or any other people in other countries are not smart. We can develop a system to make sure our X-ray eyes are good, but there will always be people who are wanting to cheat the system to make sure to bring in bad products, right? Because ultimately now what I'm saying is that lemon logo means higher price, right? Higher price means higher profit. So it means that if someone wants to make higher profit from the car, they do two things: they buy good quality cars, or they buy bad cars and make it look good, right? So for us, if we want to ensure that trust is continued to be followed in our ecosystem, we always need to continuously research ways to ensure that this trust can't be broken, right? So we have a team right now to basically, that job is to fake it. That job is to say, okay, if I have a bad car, how do I get it through the Lemonade system so that I can use the lemon logo? And to be honest, this is a tricky business. The used industry. There are people who want to sell fake watches. There are people who want to sell fake handbags. There are people who want to sell bad quality cars, but they want to claim it as good quality products because they want to get higher profit margin. Our goal as an ecosystem builder, as an authentication protocol, we have to make sure that we are always a step ahead of all of these, people who want to cheat the market, right? So for us, we are always continuously developing and finding new ways to protect our ecosystem. That's number one. Number two, we are always finding new ways to bring greater liquidity to the market, because once we solve the problem of trust, which will always be ongoing, we have to try to find ways to make the market more efficient by making partnerships with marketplace to ensure the greater liquidity as well. So as I told you, I think we have a very, very long way to go, and I think that's also in part because of our determination to always continuously improve.
Yeah, I think. Let me ask you how the Thai law can impose on such a tricky business. Buying bad car, make it look good, which is most people are afraid of. Buying bad car, make it look good, should be no longer exist in Thai market.
I concur. I concur.
Confidence in the used car market.
I think right now, speaking of Thai law,
what kind of painful penalties is that imposed on? Can be imposed on those wrongdoers?
I think right now there are laws in place for such measures, but I think the enforcement of such law is not yet 100%. But I think but there have been case studies where car
The
buyers.
reason I'm asking, Kunal, that's why people should use to go along with the lemonades.
The lemonade, exactly.
That would be a good way out to guarantees and build confidence for their own mind.
Yeah,
Guarantee that they will be no longer disappointed to buy expensive car, use automobile, or any other expensively used items simultaneously at the same time.
sure.
What happened to the line?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Sorry. So as I was speaking, our product was created to instill trust in the stakeholders, right? So I'm not going to stand here and say my product is the only thing that you should trust. I believe that the law is also helping the ecosystem as well. Even though right now it's not 100% enforceable, at least it's still there. I am happy to work with the governing body to develop, to bring them into our ecosystem and become their enforcer. For example, if the governing body says that this is the law, and if anything goes wrong, they need someone to enforce it for them, right? So right now, because of the lack of manpower, they don't have anyone to enforce it. But I could work with them and write a protocol in the system and say that if this is breached, then the system will automatically confirm that the seller of the vehicle must buy back the car. I can bring in technology and work along law enforcement to make the law more enforceable, right? Because right now it is not enforceable 100%. The law is there, right? If you buy a car that has been tampered with, you can return it. But whether that's enforceable or not is not 100% confirmed. But I can work alongside all stakeholders. I am not fearful at all. If the law were to come and say that, if you have this law, you can have peace of mind, that's great, because our goals are the same. But what I can do to support the law enforcement and the legal bodies is to work with them and develop technology to make it enforceable. For example, if they don't have enough resources to support on the call center side of things, I can say, okay, if you have a bad car that you think is bad, call our number. We can send some guy to validate. So this can be done in one day, right? So if our guys go and validate that the car is truly bad, only then we can issue a report, and then we can send this report to the government body. And then the government body can enforce the buyer to buy the car back, right? This process will be faster. Right now, if I buy a bad car, I don't know what to call. I might call SOCOBO, and they might pick up, and then SOCOBO will do something, and then it takes some time. But with this process, it could be bad car, call me, I get the issue, I go to SOCOBO, they issue this letter, I send to the seller, the seller comes and buy the car back, right? This can be done in 2 to 3 days. So ultimately, our job as a software and ecosystem builder is never to fear any progression in the law, but it's to support progression in the law.
So what Kun Op is saying, the SOCOBO has been the consumer protection body, which is attached to Prime Minister's office, which could be work very effectively and to solve the problems which happens to the buyers once they got the bad products and they don't qualify products. They don't get what they pay for. It's not worth what they pay for.
Yes, exactly.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you can be a middleman to get through that transaction and to reach out the claiming procedures to get some sort of to warranties attached to Lemonaide's software can be guarantees of the quality assurance and the buyback guarantees, in a sense, if they will rip off, I would say.
Yes.
They will be cheated. Okay, that's the whole process.
Yes.
That the whole process, the Lemonaides can be a great assistance
Yes, yes,
to all stakeholders. Is that right? Is that
yes,
right?
yes.
Particularly,
Exactly.
particularly the buyers itself.
Yes, yes. I mean, as I mentioned, right now,
And you
we
also
are not.
do this to in Indonesia and Singapore as well. Is that right?
Yes, yes. We're open to all
Consumer
stakeholders.
Protection Board is also attached to anywhere you have.
In Singapore, yes, but in Indonesia, it's not so widely used yet, and I think the legal infrastructure there is not that strong.
Very good. Is there anything else you'd like to mention and talk to people, the viewer, and to give some sort of good hope for the future for those clients who attach to?
Well, Dr. Tang, I think you already said everything else, but I think if I have to leave, a short conclusion to the viewers, if you're looking to buy good quality products, used products, just please look for the Lemon logo, because you can be sure that the retailers have followed the appropriate procedures before selling the vehicles or the used products to you. So I hope that as the Lemon logo becomes more mainstream, it will push.
Now, right? Which is on the screen.
Yes,
now.
it is on the screen now. I hope that the market will improve as a whole, because ultimately my goal is to make sure that all the used products that come into the ecosystem are good quality products. And if I can accomplish that and continue to ensure that this is the brand that people can trust, then my goal is accomplished. So in the future, if you want to look to buy used cars, used watches, used handbags, anything, look for the Lemon logo. Thank you very much, Dr. Tang. Thank you very much.
I will put, in addition to that, if you buy the cars, particularly expensive automobiles, you buy it with the Lemonaide's logo, Lemonade software.
Yes.
You leave all the worries behind.
Yes. You are absolutely correct.
That's the whole point. Okay.
Yes, that is the whole point.
Okay. And we should bring up and keep up with the latest information in the latest times. All right.
Sure. Thank you so much.
If you have any more information, let us know. And we'll do
Thank you. Once we move to our next phase, I would definitely would like to update you on that. But
great.
In the meantime, please give us some time to perfect our infrastructure right now. But I'm sure we because we move very fast in terms of our research and development, I'm sure I will be touching base with you more often in the future. Thank you so much.
I believe your hard effort will make you in a greater success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
สวัสดีครับ
Have a good day.
สวัสดีครับ
ครับคุณผู้ชมครับนี่คือ Lemonade Software เขาพูดอย่างชัดเจนว่า Lemonade ทำหน้าที่เป็นตัวกลางสำหรับ stakeholder ทั้งผู้ซื้อและผู้ขายนั่นเองให้เกิดความมั่นใจและรู้ประวัติรถทั้งหมดไม่ถูกย้อมแมวไม่ถูกซื้อขายแต่ถ้ามีปัญหาเกิดขึ้นก็พร้อมที่จะนำเรื่องนี้สู่สคบซึ่งเป็นสำนักงานคุ้มครองผู้บริโภคหรือ Consumer Protection Board ขึ้นกับสำนักนายกรัฐมนตรีนั้นก็จะทำให้ปัญหาต่างๆเหล่านี้พยายามบอกผู้ขายต้องซื่อตรง a matter of trust เป็นเรื่องสำคัญแล้วก็ทำให้ตลาดรถมือสองยิ่งใหญ่ขึ้นนะครับซึ่งได้รับความนิยมแล้วแต่จะได้รับความนิยมมากขึ้นอีกสูงขึ้นอีกด้วย Lemonade Software Lemonade Application เครื่องหมายรูปมะนาวที่เห็นอยู่บนหน้าจอเมื่อสักครู่นี้นะครับครับวันนี้ขอบคุณทุกท่านที่ติดตามชม Thank you for watching and we'll come back with more information and details pretty soon with Kun Op Wasawat Wasutaswat Lemonade's software, Lemonade's application. Together with tough standard will leave you no worries behind. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
วิกฤตอาจทำให้คุณล้มแต่ออมสินอยากให้คุณลุกขึ้นได้อีกครั้งด้วยสินเชื่อสร้างงานสร้างอาชีพจากธนาคารออมสินวงเงินกู้ 10,000 ถึง 300,000 บาท6 เดือนแรกไม่ต้องชำระเงินงวดพร้อมฝึกอบรมทักษะเพื่อก้าวเข้าสู่อาชีพใหม่ๆสมัครวันนี้ถึง 30 กันยายน 2565ด่วนมีวงเงินจำกัดธนาคารออมสินธนาคารเพื่อสังคม
บีคอนโดชีวิตทันสมัยมีสไตล์ในแบบของคุณ Be Happy คือความสุขที่อยู่รอบตัวคุณ Be Smart เป็นสไตล์ในแบบคุณ Be Healthy อยู่ท่ามกลางความสดชื่นได้ทุกวันราคาเริ่มต้น 1,140,000 บาทสนใจดูรายละเอียดได้ที่ www.abasestate.co.th
น้ำหนักรถมีผลต่อการสิ้นเปลืองน้ำมันผู้ประกอบการอาจคิดว่ายิ่งมากเท่าไหร่ก็ยิ่งคุ้มกำไรเท่านั้นแต่ในความเป็นจริงยิ่งบรรทุกหนักมากเท่าไหร่เครื่องยนต์ก็ยิ่งทดน้ำมันมากขึ้นตามไปด้วยแถมยังทำให้เครื่องยนต์และกลไกอื่นๆของรถมีอายุการใช้งานที่สั้นลงจึงขอแนะนำว่าควรบรรทุกแต่พอดีเพียงเท่านี้เพื่อนๆก็จะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในการใช้พลังงานอย่างคุ้มค่าและประหยัด
นี่ถ้ามีอะไรเย็นๆมากินก็คงดีนะ
พวกเรามีอะไรเย็นๆติดตู้เย็นไว้ตลอด
หาดน้ำแข็งที่เสือลีโอแจกฟรีแค่พิมพ์ติดตู้เย็น99ไว้ใต้คลิปถึง20 พฤษภาคม 2566 เท่านั้น
แช่ติดตู้เย็นไว้หลายถาดก็ชื่นใจได้หลายคนครับ
ความสมบูรณ์แบบคือพลังที่พร้อมก้าวข้ามทุกขีดจำกัดคือการตัดสินใจที่ไม่มีข้อผิดพลาดคือตัวตนที่ทุกคนให้การยอมรับคัมรี่ใหม่ความสมบูรณ์แบบที่เป็นคุณ